What's going on, everybody? Double Check FX Sports Code coming at you with another video. Shout out to all who have liked and subscribed to the channel. I do appreciate all the likes and subscribes. I know we've taken the entire month off, and I think it's good to take time off when, especially, there's no real events going on, and it just builds, excitement for the next one. So, again, this is the first time I'm coming on for like a month and some change. So good to see you guys again. I wanted to, hop on and say, Kansas City, I mean, that was a long time ago now, it feels like. So, again, we had the right matchup again when the playoffs started, but again, sometimes it just doesn't go your way, and that's how it goes. So, today we're going to move on to March Madness, the 86th edition of the tournament, right? And I got to be honest, found some themes. Again, let me know what you think. I think it's a little tricky, but I think ultimately I'm going to stick to who I think is going to win the whole thing. I'll sprinkle in some upsets in the first round, things of that nature that I like, what makes sense. But we're going to stick to truly just who wins, just because I think it's, obvious, but not too obvious, which I think is pretty good. So, moving on, we're going to start again. Here's the bracket. Auburn got the number 1 seed, Duke, Houston, and I believe the other team is Florida, right? So those are the 4 top 1 seeded teams today. Okay. Again, I talked about the 86th tournament, and again, the number 86 has some unique themes. Again, there's 68 teams involved, so the mirror image is 68 and 86. And these 3 words stand out because we're going to talk about a video that I saw someone posted. I'm going to give them a shout out here in a minute. The word republic equals 86. The word citizen is 86, and national is 86. So all similar words, meaning similarities in their meaning, right? Go watch this video. This is a video by 7-1. He does a really great job about talking about the word republic and how, claiming citizenship. That's why he's standing on the Black Grand National. That was the theme of the Super Bowl. Again, go watch this video. Does a lot of good dissection of the republic, and it got me thinking about, what, are they going to tribute the Republican somehow, right? Citizenship, reclaiming citizenship, the Grand National, standing on top of the Grand National. Okay. Republic of Texas, or República de Tejas, right? So I like the winner to be from Texas this year. And I think I'm going to show you what I found. I think there's some unique pieces here. Again, you can just tag along if you wish. Again, you got to remember it's going to be held on April 7th in San Antonio. Again, so the Republic of Texas motto is "Remember the Alamo." Okay, and it's going to be taking place in the Alamo Dome, the Lone Star State, all that. So this brings me to a unique connection that I found having to do with the late great Kenny Rogers. Right, Kenny Rogers, yes, indeed, the gambler, the country singer, has some unique numbers to this tournament, believe it or not. And this is a photo of when he hosted back in 1988 a Kenny Rogers Classic Weekend. Basically, all the NBA stars back in the day would come, and it's like a charity event, something of that nature, on his farm. So again, a basketball event in Georgia. So we're going to talk a little bit about Kenny Rogers, or Kenneth Ray Rogers. Again, he's born in Houston, Texas. Okay, so Houston, Texas, August 21st, 1938. Okay, he died March 20th, right? So tomorrow is March 20th, the first day of the tournament. He died at the age of 81 in Georgia. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about this and what I found from this piece. Okay, so his full name, Kenneth Ray Rogers, equals 86 and 229, right? So Kenneth Ray Rogers, in the reduction and reverse, one of the top 2 of the 4 main ciphers on the Gematrinator site. So 86 and 229, right? And I told you that, the game would be taking place on April 7th, 2025, right? So if you measure from the day of Kenneth Ray Rogers' birthday, August 21st, 1938, to this upcoming Monday, or April 7th, 2025, you get a span of exactly 86 years and 229 days, just like Kenneth Ray Rogers, 86 and 229. Right? So I thought that was interesting. Again, the gambler theme, it's going to tie in as well as we keep going. And again, here's just a brief overview about why I like Houston, right? So, his parents were Lucille Lewis Rogers and Edward Floyd Rogers. So notice the Edward, right? He was a carpenter. And tomorrow they conveniently open up against, SIU Edwardsville. Okay. Again, his father's name was Edward Floyd Rogers, and they opened up conveniently against Edwardsville team. So interesting connection there right off the bat there. And again, it's the Cougars and the Cougars. So below them is going to be Gonzaga and Georgia. Again, the Bulldogs versus the Bulldogs. So I thought this was interesting. Cougars, Bulldogs, Bulldogs in this bracket. So I think this is a clear tribute to him right off the bat here too, because as you saw in this, he died in Georgia, was born in Houston. So as an underdog, I think Georgia takes down Gonzaga. That's a good pick. I think they're slight dogs, but I think this is a pun intended. But I like this matchup. First off, to tribute Kenneth Ray Rogers here. It makes sense to me. So definitely, I would pick Georgia as the underdog tomorrow, just because I think they have, again, a good narrative. Again, the 1-9, there's the Feast of Janus Day too. The two teams, the same name, the mirror, the 1-9, Janus Feast, January 9th. So I think that's a good start. And this brings me into this unique connection that Kenny Rogers had. I don't know if you knew this, but he had a chain of restaurants. He partnered with John Y. Brown Jr., who was the founder of the KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken Corporation in Kentucky, right? So he has a unique connection to Kentucky, Kenny Rogers. As an entrepreneur, he collaborated with former Kentucky Fried Chicken CEO to start Kenny Rogers Roasters. There's also a Seinfeld episode that highlights this restaurant. And I guess Kramer, the red light is on in his room, and he has to switch, rooms with Jerry because of the Kenny Rogers Roasters theme sign. So it's an interesting video. I think it's like season 8, episode 8 for the 88. So again, another connection there. And again, KFC Yum Center, I was thinking is founded, in downtown Louisville, right? Again, the Cardinals, the Louisville Cardinals. Again, this is just, I don't want to make a prediction with the final, but, I would not be surprised if Louisville, would make a run just because, they're an 8th seed, and it makes 0 sense that they would be an 8th seed. They would be probably more like a 4 or 5, and somehow they're an 8th. So something sus with that. Again, I don't know why. And again, if you have the 8th seed versus the 1, you have 81 for, his year, how old he was. He's 81 years old, right? But that's just another, again, I don't want to make that connection. I want to keep going with Kenny Rogers here. So as I showed you that photo, the Kenny Rogers Classic held in Athens, Georgia, home of the Georgia Bulldogs. Going back and watch this, I think it was like November 14th in 1988. It's like a charity event, and what are the chances, all these stars of the 80s are here. There's a famous, puts Michael Jordan in the popcorn machine, so interesting take. I think this is something here because, the Houston Gamblers were a actual team that competed, in the United States Football League as well. So they were renowned. Houston, again, Sam Houston, he was the governor of Texas and Tennessee, the Republic of Texas. The first president was Sam Houston, right? So I like the Houston connection here. Again, I'm going a little bit more off the cuff here with some things. Again, what noticed also is the lyrics of The Gambler tell a story who gives his best advice to the narrator. He tells the narrator how to handle life by speaking in terms of a card game, right? A card game, like the Cardinals, right? Again, we all know the lyrics. We've heard it a million times. But the songwriter who actually wrote the song, his name is Don Shields. I'm probably really botching that, but the unique connection I saw with this guy right here is that he's the songwriter of the song, and he was, he's originally from Durham, North Carolina, right? So what university is from northern, in North Carolina, in Durham, right? It's Duke, right? So I would not be surprised if we get chalk. I'll be honest. I'm going to be safe. I like this matchup right here, but I like the East and the Midwest to be straight up. Again, I'm not going to show my whole picture because that could lead to, be like, wow, I can't believe you can get that one right. So I'm just going to lead you here. Okay. I think it's pretty safe to say you need Duke in there. Again, Duke always brings in good money. They always bring in a good show. They're a great showman. For distraction, they're the number one. They have the best odds, right? So I think they need to. I think Houston has the fourth best odds. So I feel like it's important that they bring two, top teams into the Final Four, right? To really split the odds, right? Because you need to split that because you want to take it as far as you can until you take all the money from Duke, right? So this is why I like Houston. Again, the songwriter for that song was from Durham, North Carolina. I like Houston over Duke in the Final Four, right? That's the Final Four matchup I'm picking. And again, we got to talk about this guy real quick before I'm done. Calvin Sampson, this is his 11th season as the head coach. Looks a lot like, somebody else we know. In this tweet, it looks like it says, "What a job by O.J. Simpson," right? So this guy's name is Sampson, looking like Simpson, his 11th season. And OJ played 11 seasons in the NFL. I don't know. What do you think? I've thought a lot about this, with him being an Oklahoma guy. Again, Calvin Dale Sampson, the recent passing of Gene Hackman, who played Norman Dale in Hoosiers. Again, this coach was a coach for the Hoosiers. From Oklahoma, Norman Dale, Calvin Dale Sampson. So I just want to break that down real quick. Some less obvious things there. But again, I wanted the main thing to be focused on this Kenny Rogers connection because I think it's too hard to ignore. Kenneth Ray Rogers, 86-229. From the day of his birth to the day of the national championship is 86 years and 229 days. He's from Houston. Again, died in Georgia. Again, that could be one of the second-round matchups to tribute them. His father's name is Edward. They play Edwardsville to open the season or the tournament. Connection with, the chain restaurant as well. Again, John Y. Brown Jr., again, with KFC connection in Louisville, perhaps an 8th seed run, right? They can make a run. They did play in the Final Four in 1983 as well. So, again, when the Pi Slamma Jamma era was going on, right? So the Pi, right? The Phi, whatever they say, was going on as well. Again, this classic matchup. Again, the gambler theme. The songwriter is from Durham. A big tribute to this song, I believe, in the Alamo Dome. Remember the Alamo? And I think they cut down the nets this year. I think this is their 80th season, whatnot. And I believe this is all in tribute to Kenny Rogers. So again, like and subscribe, guys. Leave your comments as to who you like for this year. Okay, because I'm always good for feedback. Again, I'll post another video during just to once, again, I just don't want my friends to see my pick selfishly, just because, I want to try to stay true to that this year. I'll post it once, they're all out, but I just want to put my main pick out for, the Houston Cougars to win the 2025 NCAA Men's Basketball National Championship, right? Double Check FX Sports Code coming at you. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.